I'm going to run through just an overview of the Global Luxury program. We're very proud of it. It's a year old, about 3 weeks ago. We had a big anniversary celebration all over the world. Offices did videos and Instagram takeovers, and it was very, very cool. I didn't even know that stuff could happen, but it did. So in multiple languages and all throughout the day, and it started in the middle of the night because they were on the other side of the world. So Thailand started. It was just beautiful to see it take off and happen like that. So the program that we have, and I'm going to walk around. You're just videoing me, right? And of all times, I'm not wearing a suit. I know, they told me to show up in jeans. I love it. I love it. I think I can do this more often. So a little over a year, about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I was brought on from Coldwell Banker NRT in Chicago market. That's my experience. I've been an agent since 1996. I've had some interesting times along the way. Some really big, wonderful successes with listings, which just sort of, you know, that stuff is just, that's what we love, right? To land the big stuff. And I went to NRT to oversee Global Luxury for Chicago, and then the brand brought me on to overhaul what used to be Coldwell Banker Previews. How many of you remember Previews? Anybody miss it? Yeah. It was an old program since 1933. It was really a name. It really didn't have much to do. It was just a logo, and a logo that never really fit on anything. And you remember the Sunburst logo? It just never worked, right? And so we were tasked with taking the program completely apart and rebuilding it, and that's what we did. And here's the difference. We did it with agents. Agents, probably about 25. They put the program back together. It is delivered by agents, and it's put together by agents. How about that for a novel idea? Right? It's not some corporate-driven thing. It's something that agents knew they needed. This is a snapshot of what we call the program, and it's everything that we do that makes it a value for you. It makes it a value for the seller. One of the things we stress is that the agents in the Coldwell Banker network, hopefully, how many of you have been to a certification course? Like 5 of you, 6 of you. And you saw us where? Dallas, Hawaii. That's right. So we worked very hard to put this together to make it a value for the agents and for the sellers, because if you can't articulate what the parts of the program are, how they mean something to a seller, then it's really for naught. And that's one of the things that we really stress in the certification course. Hopefully you guys benefited from that course, and I think we've had some people take it 2 and 3 times. I think you learn something new each time, different instructor. All the instructors that we have in the program now are top agents in the top 5% of their market. They all earn 2, 3, 6 million a year in commission, and they teach the course for free. We don't pay them. They just want to do it. They want to give back. Jade Mills, Wendy Walker, Carrie Wells, and Aspen. You're right, I did tell you Aspen was my favorite place. I forgot about that. Forgot I was coming here. So this is a snapshot of the program. So I'm going to run through the critical pieces of this. We had actually 1,000 people have gone through the course last year. We've had another 300 go through it this year, and now it's all over the world. This is our shot of our course in Rome. This was so much fun because there are so many different languages being spoken. 15 countries were represented, and there's a headset with the translation going on. So there's a 3-second delay. So when you think you're funny, and they don't laugh, and then they laugh, you know, you kind of have to pace yourself, but it's very cool. So these are the instructors that we have: United States, France, Monaco, Italy, Spain, Cyprus, Turkey, Costa Rica, Argentina, and in Istanbul, we did the course 2 days ago, right on the Bosphorus River in a gigantic, old, beautiful mansion, and it was taught in 2 different languages. So it's a thing, and it's going all over the world. We're very proud of it. The CHLMS and the Institute connection, very important. We're the only brand that's doing this. Other brands can take the CLHMS. They can also become a member of the Institute. Ours is different. It's a course that's designed by Coldwell Banker and the Institute, so it's the only one of its kind. When you go through the course, You leave with this designation as well, provided you've met the sales production, which is really not that hard. It's 3 sales in the luxury space over the last 24 months. It's not that hard. Not that hard at all. That's the same requirements for Coldwell Banker. Is that cotton stuff? Is that allergic? I saw little cotton balls flying all over the place. Anyway, so the designations give you the designation for the Institute and for Coldwell Banker. They're simultaneous. We're the only brand doing this. The fee for the course is $495. That is the membership for the CHLMS. We underwrite the entire cost of the program. So that's the level of commitment that we have. By the way, all this stuff that you see that's been created, it's created by a very dedicated team that I get to oversee, and we spend a ton of money on this. Millions of dollars a year is put into this program to make sure it's got value for you. The new website, which launched April 11th, hopefully you're familiar with it. This is a brand new build from Proxio. There's 2 parts of the website that make it special. The front is called Showcase. That's what powers the site for the consumer. The back half of it is called Connect, and that is a global MLS. There are 3.5 million listings on Connect right now, and about 750,000 agents that are on that network. You guys know outside of the country, there is no MLS, right? So our agents in other parts of the world, sometimes there'll be 5 and 6 agents on a listing, all doing the same thing, all with no listing agreement, all spending money. The one who brings the buyer gets it. And it's rough the way they have to work. So the global MLS is a real feature, and we'll talk a little bit about it when I get there. So this is what the snapshot of the site right now. We've got about 15,000 listings on there right now. 30% of our traffic is from outside the United States. As you can tell, it's an image-based site. The specifics for the property, photos have definitely changed. If you are not aware of what those are, they're on Connect. Big, rich photography. If it's not, we have to patch it. And if you know what you're looking at, you can tell it's patched. But if your photography is substandard, we fix it to make it look good. But this is what we're looking for, is big, rich photography like this. This is what the consumer is drawn to. It's catnip, right? So the big photos, if they're bad, are just worse, right? When you blow them up, if they're ugly. I mean, an ugly house is ugly if it's big, right? So you got, you just gotta. This is the digital syndication package that is fully automated within 72 hours. They go to the sites that you see here. These are at no cost to you. Automatic syndication within 72 hours. After it hits 1 million, it goes on to the List Hub portal. This is something that other brands have a decent program. They don't have what we have. Right now we're on 115 portals in 66 countries in 18 languages. Global syndication is something that matters today. There's another brand down the hall from us in the building. They're blue. They have a similar. I'm not going to trash any brands, I promise, except for the ones that I don't like. So yeah, here's how we operate, just so it's clear. Whatever the other brands are doing, we monitor that. If they get more, we add more. If they get more, we add more. That's why we keep adding these sites, because the sellers need to know that their properties are being seen all over the world in languages that they're accustomed to. So when you're in another country, you don't know about ColdwellBankerLuxury.com, but you know what your site is. That's what the syndication is for, in a color and format that they're familiar with. Anjuke, this is brand new. I think we launched this about 3 months ago. This is the very first mobile first app for Chinese looking outside of their country. Over 200 million downloads already. And I think we launched this about 4 months ago. So if you're not familiar with it, you can read all about it on CB Exchange. It's something that you don't have to master, but you kind of want to know about all this stuff so you can talk about it in a logical way to the seller, right? For offices, not for agents, this is the listing dashboard. This is how we monitor all the sites and see what they look like in other countries. This inset over here is one of our sites in I think it's Italy. Yes, in Italy. So if a seller wants to know where their listings are being syndicated to, the office can pull up the dashboard. All the countries are lined up. You can see the ranking of the site, and you can see what the properties look like in another language on another site. Very impressive for the sellers. If they ask where they're all being viewed, you can show it to them in multiple languages. This is Connect. This is the back end of the site. If you are a Global Luxury Certified Agent, you have access to Connect on CB Exchange. If you are not a Global Luxury Agent, you will not have access to the back of the luxury website. Your listings will still be there, and your photo and bio will be there, but you're blocked from the back end. This is only for the Global Luxury Certified Agents that are in the network. Right now we have about 7,000 in our network that are on this site, but this is the Global MLS. There's about 3.5 million listings on the site right now with 750 agents from all over the world in different countries and a lot of different brands. They spend a lot of money to be on here. We do this all for you. This is not, it's not free and it's not cheap. Power in numbers, we're growing. I think we're at 92,700 agents. I think we fluctuate, but the power in numbers, learning how to talk about it, how to share with the other offices. Who was sharing with me they have an estate somewhere? You have an estate somewhere coming up here, and I think it's in this town, and you wanted to get it to agents in other parts of the world. That's what you do with Connect. You can show them, they can see it, they can also tag your properties and put it on their own site. That way you can look like you've got inventory outside of the country. Very, very cool. Wealth Engine, big investment on our part. This is the largest database of the affluent in existence. This is portal access. These are very expensive. They're about $4,000 a year per portal. We sell these to you for $250, and we foot the rest of the bill. This is not for spamming people, and it's certainly not Match.com, but this is the largest database of the affluent. It's got everything about people inside the site. You can see how old they are, how long they've been married, how many times they've been married, how many kids they have, what charities they're part of, who their network is. It's all in there. This is for working in the top 1 to 5% of the market. So this is not for pulling just listed postcard lists, right? So you got to treat this careful, because you get one portal per agent, $250 a year. We pay the rest. The training is available on CB Exchange. This is a very powerful part of the program. That's why we decided to make it permanent and do an enterprise contract, which is how we are able to get all of you in the network. By the way, Online Wealth Lookup, OWL, that is something that you have an app, Online Wealth Lookup. So if somebody calls randomly about a property, you don't know who they are, but they're flying in to look at it, you can just hit Online Wealth Lookup and see everything you need to know about that person right there on your phone. Totally powerful. When you show the seller that you have access to that, sellers just love it, because no one else is doing this. No one else is doing this. Luxury.com. We've totally overhauled the luxury blog. This is now where everything related to luxury lives. So this is home to Home of the Week. This is home to the magazine program. This is home to the video program. This is home to the report. If it's connected to luxury, it lives on this site. There's two things that go on with this site. It's consumer facing. So we have about 100,000 subscribers that read the newsletter every month. But the back end of it, on the dashboard section, is for you to have content to share. That way you can possibly stop sending people those silly turn your clocks back messages. I mean, really? Who's got a clock that gets turned back, right? And they don't need to know that you make great chili. They just don't care. Luxury content, luxury content, luxury content. That's what they want. They want you to talk about the luxury space in a way that shows you're a professional. And that's what the back end of this. So there's architecture, lifestyle design, travel. I even wrote a great story on bourbon, and it turned out to be one of the most viewed stories we have. People love cigars, they love bourbon, they love travel, they love all that stuff. That's the best part of the site from my perspective. And we share something from there. My team does probably every day. I meant to bring a photo of my team. I have an 85-year-old woman who still shows up to Coldwell Banker in her Chanel and her high heels and her pillbox hats, and she's an icon in the Chicago market. And trust me, she needed assistance because her vision is not as good, so my team jumped on. And guess what? All we got to do is mention we're with her, we get every single appointment. every single appointment, because they automatically know who she is. So she's a lot of fun. Plus, there's a dog in the photo of my team. We don't even know whose the dog belongs to. He walked in the room and he sat down in front of the photo, and the photo looked great. And people love kids and dogs and stuff, so we worked it. Right? So about print media. So this is something that is different kind of a mindset. Print media is dying in a lot of different levels. It's not in luxury. So the luxury consumer reads 6 to 8 magazines a month. I don't know, are you magazine addicts? Anybody? I've got them stacked up all over the house. Even my partner's going to tell me to get out one day because they're everywhere. But that's the kind of magazines that we're talking about. That's why we focus so much on homes and estate, and why we work so hard to keep our book to be premium and keep it out in front of the world. We're the only brand doing what we're doing. Other brands make a statement, but they don't do what we do. This is our global luxury marketing campaign. How many of you know what this is in the Coldwell Banker Network? So this is 52 pages of everywhere we are in the world at any given time in print and digital. It's a massive commitment. This is not for the sellers. You would never let a seller see this, right? This is for you to have as a backup to prepare your marketing. We had a disaster where an agent thought this would make a great thing to show the seller. I got to the appointment. It was an $11 million listing, and she had Post-it notes on like 15 pages of ads. It was like 200 grand. And I had to walk her backwards. And the agent said, oh, I thought it was impressive. And I'm like, it is, but it's for you. We don't want the sellers to see this because the prices are in there and the demographics are in there. So when you download this, you can see everything about the people reading it. That way you can target market a campaign. You can talk about it something more than just, I'm going to buy an ad. You can tell them this is an age group between 40 and 60, have 2 homes. This is their income. This is their age. That's where we want to go. Or something that's coastal or something that's farm and ranch. That way you learn about it, and this is the book. This is how you learn. It's broken up into many different categories, as you can see, for those who want international. Luxury real estate, lifestyle and design, stories of interest. We have all kinds. We actually have a standing order for a half page in the New York Times. If anybody wants it, it's just 26 grand. I know. Can you believe it? For one run. But every once in a while, listing might fit it. If they're a big $195 million listing, like you guys remember when we got Le Belvedere? 195, we just sold it. 65 million. Well, you know what though? Still a big check. It's still a big check. But that's the stuff, right? That's the stuff. That's the catnip. Our Homes and Estates magazine, there's not one in here, but I think you guys have all seen it. But this is a labor of love. It's very special to us. 2 years ago, I was told to trash the magazine, that it wasn't worth it anymore, and that it wasn't of value. And it broke my heart. And I said, no, I'm sorry. This is one of Joyce Ray's listings in Mexico. Stunning, but that's what you get when you're on the cover. That is a very special magazine, and I'll tell you why it's special to us. If we do not have our own, other brands do. So we decided to reimagine this magazine. We're now all over the world. We're on newsstands all over the world. Right now we're in 11 countries. We're in Barnes & Noble, digital. No other brand is doing this because it's a massive undertaking and incredibly expensive. But when you're in different parts of the world, you can see the magazine sitting right next to Architectural Digest or whatever the magazine is. And I've had people snap photos, Taiwan, Argentina. It's like seeing my baby somewhere. Little spots in the airport. But this is a massive undertaking. 60,000 printed copies go to the 60,000 wealthiest people in the United States, direct mailed. When you buy an ad in here, if you buy a full page, you get a second ad in the Unique Homes that runs about 45 days later. You do not pay for that. It goes to 80 countries. It's a huge program. The sellers love it, and it's very affordable because, again, we underwrite the program. So the ads have not gone up in 9 years. We keep it low so it can be affordable and it can be doable. $19.95 a page for the big book, $15.95 a page for the Wall Street Journal supplement. The Wall Street Journal supplement, very special. It's a thinner edition, and we do it 2 times a year. That is direct mailed to the 10 most affluent zip codes in the United States, directly into their inbox. We do all of that for you. That one is only $15.95. It's a massive program, and I think if you see the book, you'll love it. This is the Unique Homes issue. It runs right after Homes and Estates. So this is the big book that comes out twice a year after we run the global edition, the one you're passing around. The entire magazine is reprinted in Unique Homes at no cost to you. This one goes to an additional 80 countries, and I want to say their readership is 100,000 plus. Very, very nice. This is the report, another labor of love. We used to do these. They're very, very difficult, very time-consuming, very tough. I would challenge you, if you really want to up your game, do a luxury market report on your own, one that is shareable with the media. When you finish, you will feel like an absolute expert. It happened to me, and I said I would do it. This was like 4 years ago, and I got in the middle of it, and I thought I was going to die because research. I ended up doing it, though, and that's how we got the Ritz-Carlton Residences listing. It was from just that report. Biggest listing I ever had in my life, $247 million. I know. I was just, well, I mean, seriously, I was just, very, very nervous. I didn't think I could pull it off, but we did. We did. We sold 50%, about 60% of that building before it was sold to another investor. Some of the highest prices we've ever received in Chicago for raw square footage, and for, can you believe, $1.6 million one-bedroom apartments? Little tiny things. And it's built in, it's a hotel property, so there's no closets. They're all like hotels, so I don't know, it's complicated, but we sold them. We sold them. This report is shared digitally, and it's also available in print. I want to say these are around $15 a piece if you order them from Express Docs. This covers the top 50 markets in the United States and the top 10 markets outside of the United States. We have 4 sets of a team that write it. We use the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing. We use Unique Homes. We use a standalone writer. We use our own writer. And it's shareable. You can customize it, put your own forward, or do your own part in the end. You can do this on Adobe Acrobat if you know how to do that. And you can create your own. You can't change the disclaimers because they're illegal, but you can make it look like it's a local report with your own story in it. Very, very cool. When we overhauled the marketing for luxury, I hope you guys can tell, we decided to not look at real estate. We decided to look at architecture, design, aircraft, marine. This is the new listing presentation. I hope you guys like it. It's called the Grab and Go. Very, very sexy. This is not customizable, but there is a version that is customizable so that you can have your story about you. This is the capabilities brochure. This is the #1 selling piece we have. The entire luxury marketing story is inside this one piece. Perfect for slipping in, goes inside the box. How many of you guys have seen this? Is that not sexy? Is it something? These are machine scored and hand finished, and they're expensive. And we sell them to you guys really, really cheap, but we had a ball doing that one. I just showed you those. That's the whole story of the luxury program in that one piece. This is what we did to get the story in front of the seller in a way that meant something to them. Nobody wants to hear about the luxury program for 2 hours, right? Seller certainly doesn't. What we did was the top parts, there's down to 4 lines. They're all mentioned in here. So the entire story. If there's one piece that you would use to tell a seller everything, this would be it. Listing presentation's too big to try to tell a story with that, right? That's why we have the box for delivery. This is the customizable listing presentation. You can download this on CB Exchange. You can do this in iPad, Keynote. You can do it PowerPoint, vertical, horizontal. You can do as much customization as you want. I would encourage you to customize it. Make sure that the listing presentation is more about you with the power of Coldwell Banker behind you, as opposite of telling them all about Coldwell Banker and not enough about you. because they're hiring you. So this would be the way to go, but the other one is available non-customizable. That's the vertical and horizontal binders. I don't know if y'all have these or not, but these are with you. You got everything, man. And a cool office, too. This section here is for, hopefully you guys have noticed, what we did was we redesigned everything. We wanted to give it a nice, clean look, hence the Global Luxury logo when we launched that. I was told that was a bad idea, and it was going to be too rough. Boy, were they wrong. It's turned out to be phenomenal, phenomenal. By the way, if you're not with Coldwell Banker, just so you know, because I know some of your different brands, everybody says they're number one, and in many areas they may well be, but when it comes to selling luxury transactions, no one tops Coldwell Banker. Last year we did 28,770 transactions of $1 million or greater. We average $148.7 million a day, 7 days a week. So somebody might be number one in a zip code, and they might be number one in an area, but no one tops us when it comes to luxury. This is how far ahead we are. Do you notice that no one else prints their number of transactions? I wonder why. They're that far behind us. That far behind us. And we own that brand too. So be very, very proud if you're a Coldwell Banker. And if not, be proud of your other company. How did I segue out of that one? Pretty weak. And this is the box which I've already showed you. These are about $60. They're designed to make a statement. They weigh about 9 pounds when they're fully loaded. I think they're 62. They come with the Homes and Estates magazine, the current issue. They come with the capabilities brochure. They come with the listing presentation. You can also slip in a customizable piece from you. These are used for pre-listings for the most part. So in Chicago, we have Bike Runner and Messenger. This will show up before I get there. It makes a statement. I send them to everybody that I'm going to meet with. I don't worry about the price because my intention is to get the listing, and I usually do. But the price doesn't worry me so much. I want this to be the voice of luxury. So when this arrives, how many of you do pre-listing boxes like that? Just one? Two? Wow. Okay. Maybe I'm old school. I don't know. But this, to me, makes the statement that I don't really have to worry so much when I'm there. I'm mostly just answering a few questions. This tells them who we are, just the look and feel of it, and the weight of it, and all the contents that are in it. I think it does all the heavy lifting for you.
The future. No one really knows for certain what's in store. But that doesn't stop us from making it ours by teaming up with the best in the business. The trailblazers, trendsetters, the doers. They're one of us. Their ingenuity and imagination drive us to build new products unmatched in the industry that make the experience of buying or selling a home better for those who go with blue and those who wear it. Your future is now, right here. Your name next to ours. Your business heightened by the power, reach, and recognition of a global brand. Preserved by the definition of what it means to be family, to be home. Here, our past, present, and future meet, where we relentlessly seek, day by day, to make a difference in the lives of others. At the real estate company with real advantages.